Thank you, Michael. And thank you, Reverend Nancy, for that meditation. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The subject today is flexibility and accepting of oneself. How do you know what you're accepting in yourself? We find out what we're accepting about ourselves are the effects that we have in our life. You know, flexibility is one way to let you know what you are experiencing in your life. The human body has quite a few joints, and every one of those joints have a symbology of flexibility in there. And you know, I'm going to go through some of the joints in there and let you know how I accept myself. First joint I want to talk to you about is your neck. And if you are having effects in your neck, know that you're the cause of that. And so if you're the cause of knowing yourself, then you know you can do something about it. If it's A-OK, then you can. If it's not A-OK, then you can do something about it. And usually in the neck area, it's things that you're not doing your way, and you would like to do in your way. And you've been eliminating things that are in your life to do your way, and you're still not doing things your way. And of course, the neck is also connected with the authority in your body, on the throat area. That's the authority. Now, if you're doing things of other people's ideas, then those people are the authority in your life. And so now it's time to be aware that you are the authority in your life, and you are doing it with peace and harmonious, with happiness, health, and wealth. And it may be a simple thing. You say, well, I like to close the door this way. And someone says, well, you should do that way. When people start talking to you about shoulds, don't listen to them anymore. Because that's a direction for you to do it their way and everything. And so if you want to close the door with your left hand, close it with your left hand. If you want to do it with your right hand, do it with your right hand. If you want to leave it open, leave it open. But also you got to remember that every action, there is a reaction. And so if it's 40 below outside and you leave the door open, you may have some discussion upon that. We're not going to experience that in this Tucson, are we?
No.
Well, we will experience 105 or 110. So the joint of the neck is doing it your way. You know, when I first got my development classes, I would say, now, what did I do in 1969? And I would think that, and of course I was looking for January, February, and March, but a silly thing come up that happened in May, you know. And then I said, well, whose idea was that? And then I got quiet, and you know what? All the things that I was doing in 1969 were not my idea. They were somebody else's idea. And so I started doing things my way and doing it what I wanted to do. Start doing what I wanted to do. And the first lesson I learned is not to tell people what you want to do. Because they all have better ideas than you do. So I straightened out things and everything like that way too. And you know, the shoulders are right there too, and that's a joint. And the shoulders represent responsibility. So if your shoulders are being affected, you are either letting other people do your responsibilities or you're doing other people's responsibilities. Now, who decides that? You decide that. You're the authority in your body, in your being. You know if it's your responsibility or not. You know, in the healing meditation, I have people, I'm doing my responsibilities and I'm doing what freedom is. I also allow all other people to let them do their responsibilities with the same freedom and ease. And this way, it gets me completely out of the picture, and I'm not directing somebody else to do what I think is best for them. Big lesson, not to tell people what's best for them. Let them figure it out yourself. And know that there's responsibilities that go along with that. Our biggest responsibility in life is to be happy, healthy, and wealthy. And you will know what that is through the abilities of knowing thyself. So we got the shoulders responsibility. Now we go down the arms. And we have a left arm and a right arm. everyone's got both arms today, so I have to look at that because there's sometimes they don't have their left and right arm and everything. And so, the left is also receiving. It's the female aspect of your being, and the right is giving, and it's the male aspect of your life. Every place you go, you receive what's in that place. And every action that is being in there, you're receiving that action as what it is. How many of us go to a place that you go into a place, oh, this don't feel so nice. But I'm going to stay here anyways. And so you stay there and you get miserable, more miserable, and more miserable. And by the time you leave there, you're really miserable. And you know what? It goes right along with you. And your subconscious thinks, well, that belongs to me, so I'm going to start doing that in my life. That's the way it works. And so when I go to a place I haven't ever been before, I know where the entrance is, and I look around where the exit is. So I can know where, if I need to get out of there quickly, I know how to do that and get out of there and everything. And you know, it's difficult when you're with someone that you really and truly care for, or it's in the family or anything like this, you know. So how did I get away from my family? Well, I got in my car in 1970 and drove out to Tucson, Arizona from Syracuse, New York. That's how I got rid of the family. But I also, you know, as I said before, I met the same people here, and they had the same names too, and that was scary. And they acted the same way, and they were saying the same things too. And so, know that when you go somewhere, you're giving yourself, and you're receiving what is going on at that place. And if you don't care about that, then there's an effect that you have that you don't care, and then when it tells me that I'm still doing that. And the things I used to get irritated with people, I was doing myself. So we have an all-knowing within us to give us the answers to do something different. I like the opposite, you know, so it works out better for me to do the opposite. And I don't know what I'm doing when I'm doing the opposite, because it's the first idea I ever had was opposite. And then I start debating myself and everything like this, and then that slows me to do that action of doing the opposite. And so I found out I'm not going to argue with myself. I'm just going to start doing the opposite feeling that I have. And then we go down the body a little bit, and then we go to the hips. That's a joint, you know. And hips are a symbology of moving forward in life and doing things that you like to do, being forward and doing things differently and everything. And if you were growing up and you weren't allowed to do certain things, to do that, you know, I was fortunate growing up, you know, that when I was in high school, that they started a new sport called lacrosse, and the first one, and I go up to my mother, I go up to my father, can I go play lacrosse? And my mother says, what kind of game is that? My father says, real rough. He didn't want me to play lacrosse. He wanted me to play baseball because he missed out baseball in his life, and he wanted to live it through me. So, but they said, go ahead and do it. And to me, that was a very strong indication of me making up my mind and doing it, and it really worked out real well for me to do that. And so I found that experience helped me to do things later in life, and especially putting the program together here at the chapel, is that, well, I'm not going to ask people what the best thing to do. I'm just going to start doing it. And the things that I put together, they start working and everything, and manifesting and everything like this. So I just kept on doing that. And so I found that no matter where you are in the place, there's always something that you desire to do. And remember, desire is a worthy destination. And you are worthy of that destination. So, and as we move along upon our path, now we go down to the knees, which is one of the major flexible joints in our life. You know, if you have difficulties in the right knee, on the inside, that's your aspect of the male aspect. If it's in the left knee, if it's on the inside, it's your aspect of the female aspect. If it's on the outside, those are the males and females in your life that are inflexible. And it's amazing how we can get rid of the condition with that, you know. Like I mentioned before, when I was in Canada, I sat down in the chair and the chair broke on me. And my left knee, inside my left knee was hurting, you know, and everything. And so, what does that mean, David? I says, well, my female aspect is inflexible. And so I started saying my female aspect is flexible. I am flexible, my left male. And you know what? In a day, that knee was well. And so these things that we say, you know, that they really work and everything. And so the knees, when the knees are in there, their flexibility too, you know. And if it's on the outside, you just start. I'm drawing those who are flexible in my life, and I'm eliminating those who are inflexible in my life. That is a real strong condition to make in your life. And it takes strength to go along and do that. The last joint I'm going to talk about is the ankles. And the ankles are the feet, and the feet is the understanding of our being. How many times do we ask, well, I don't understand what that person is doing. I don't understand what they're saying. And what are you really saying? I don't understand myself. And so start saying, I understand. And when I started saying that, I would get all these silly ideas, and I wouldn't pay any attention to them. But I still was not understanding. And so when I got these ideas that were different, I started following through with them, and I understood. And I found a different way of talking and a different way of acting. And action are the places that you go. And when you're changing, the places in your life are going to change, because there's different people that are in those places, and they're doing different things than you've done before. Now, all the places that you go are probably not the best to do. So let your wisdom and the stomach area tell you what is the best for you. And your stomach is the best place to indicate what is best for you. And every time you go somewhere, every time you do something, your stomach is telling you yes or no. And it's so slight, we just bypass it most of the time. And then we say, oh, I should have listened to myself and everything. So know that acceptance of oneself is knowing the effects that are in your life. And one of the ways to do that is to understand the flexibility that you have and the effects that flexibility is allowing you to live your life in harmony. I leave that with you and bless you.